Son, I know this is a tough letter to get in the mail, but you have to understand. This is something you have to do for your country. Go to Vietnam, be a war hero, serve our country, make our people proud. I remember back when I went to World War II, that was the worst letter I've ever received in my life. But I'm a better man for it.
Yeah, Dad, I'm really proud to go to Vietnam.
I want my dad to be proud of me, but I really don't think I'm cut out for the war.
You're nothing more than a dog! Get down! Get up! Get down! You're gonna need to work hard if you want to survive! Get down! Stay down! Stay down!
This doesn't
Get
feel
up!
human.
What'd you just say?
This doesn't feel any human at all.
Shut up, Blattner! If you want to work and you want to survive, you better get down right now! Get up! Get down!
Over there, over there!
What am I even doing here? I'm killing an enemy that I didn't create. This guy didn't want to be in this war. He wanted to continue his schooling just like me. He has a family just like me. Both of us are not going to return from this war. Both soldiers and officers were in a fog in Vietnam. Neither knew exactly why they were fighting or what they were fighting for. This fog aided in preventing soldiers from seeing each other as fellow humans. Tim O'Brien writes of this in his story The Man I Killed, where he describes his experience killing a Viet Cong soldier. As he looks down at the individual he killed, he begins to see the similarities in common humanity they share. Throughout the war, soldiers often failed to see this common humanity while entrenched in concern for survival. This fog can also be seen in the My Lai massacre, where Charlie Company murdered a number of innocent villagers as a result of poor communication and understanding from authority and soldiers' inability to know right from wrong. Although one can blame soldiers for these actions, it is hard to do so as they were taught to follow orders at all times. While soldiers were physically ready for the war, mentally they were not, and the results were catastrophic.
Son, it's so nice to have you back. From what I've heard, you showed countless acts of courage and bravery. All you did was your best, and I'm sorry that couldn't result in ultimate victory. So son, I know you must be tired, but tonight, we're gonna have dinner with your mother and sister, okay? They've really been wanting to see you.
I think I'm just gonna go to my room.
Okay.
How are they so happy? They don't understand this world. Maybe if I talk to them they will listen, but no, they will have no idea what I've seen and been through. They just wouldn't understand it. My dad would respond, "You must have felt patriotic and victorious out there." I would then question him and tell him there's nothing patriotic about killing an enemy that doesn't exist, and tell him that he just doesn't understand. Nobody that wasn't in Vietnam understands.
Son, it's time to go to dinner!
No, I'm just gonna stay here.
PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder, affected and still affects the lives of nearly 31% of all Vietnam War veterans. These veterans deal with anxiety, depression, and alcoholism, to name a few. This PTSD can stem all the way back from training. For a lot of these men, this was their first time holding guns, and to be expected to shoot at a human was a lot to ask. Men were exposed to death all around them in Vietnam, constantly making decisions that would decide the difference between life and death. When the soldiers returned home, it was a struggle for some to return to their previous lives. The reality of PTSD horrors was shown in the chapter Speaking of Courage and the Things They Carry by Tim O'Brien. In this story, O'Brien writes about the depressing life that Norman Bacher lived when he returned from war. Bacher was unable to release himself from Vietnam and was therefore unable to live a normal life in America. The chapter showed the harsh realities when writing how Bacher would drive around the lake in his father's pickup from the wee hours of the day all the way until sunset. Bacher's life was abruptly ended when he was found dead in a YMCA locker room. These men faced countless struggles in Vietnam, but for some, the struggle of returning home and trying to live an everyday life while being haunted from your past was way worse.